Hey guys, Dazzler Magic here, and we're back at it again. This is gonna be a zinger. If you haven't seen my last video about how Arena was badly hacked, well, I made reference to an earlier one that I was still investigating because it looked incredibly fake, and then after researching I found out it was the same person behind it. So they ran an executable that called a DLL with a couple parameters that look like the fakest damn thing I've ever seen. But this guy has a history. He is actually a security researcher, and yeah, it seemed to inject some kind of code in some way, change a memory location, I don't know. There is quite literally from the footage no way of knowing how this worked. But what it would do is force your opponent to concede. Okay, WOTC. Here's how you write a program if you know what the hell you're doing. I have a limited set of things that I can say are going on. My opponent has a limited set of things that they can say are going on. And then 100% of the remainder is done by the server. Now in three-dimensional space, where like I'm firing a gun at someone and then they're throwing a grenade at me and then the timing and they're on like a 100 millisecond delay and I'm on an 8 millisecond delay. Well, then, I say this happened and they say that happened and I hit them, but then they didn't. And then you need like net code to negotiate. And then you've got like the game host who has an advantage because it's local, because the company can't afford dedicated servers. This is like little tiny strings of text of, oh, this happened. This happened to this card. Well, not even that. That would be the return data. That would be the server telling your client what the result was after it determines the rules. But that's more expensive if they offload it to your computer instead of so many dedicated servers and they could save money. And then 1,000 people would hack the game in 3 seconds because as soon as you take my client's word for it, I'm gonna mod my client to make sure that it makes up some crap that never happened. So what should happen is I click the concede button and I tell the server I'm conceding, or my opponent clicks the concede button to tell the server that they're conceding. My client shouldn't be able to tell the server that my opponent conceded. And I have trouble thinking that's such a basic thing. And like the last one, the video, I don't want to ruin it, but go watch it. Like the purchases were in the store. What items I bought, what I clicked on, what are on sale. I mean, you could just match it up with IDs if they knew what the hell they were doing, but they calculated like overall cost client side or something. It's got to be a currency conversion thing or like international price leveling thing, but I've never even heard of them doing that. I don't know. Actually, boy, I really should make a video about that. But this is a lot less complicated than that, okay? A checkout system, e-commerce, and payments and stuff. Yeah, not the easiest thing in the world, although they did offload most of it to a browser from what I saw. And there was still a problem in there, and he managed to get basically infinite gems. So that one I could almost kind of see. It was still garbage coding by somebody who was rushing or didn't know what they were doing. But I can kind of see how it happened and it didn't really affect gameplay and they would have caught you in 3 seconds. So it was interesting, but it wasn't the end of the world. It was the single worst hack I've ever seen up until this video though. Oh, of Arena, not in general, my gosh. Hell, I've probably done worse than that. But not in Arena. So my theory is there's no way that a simple, like I'm sending a string of, characters to the server that says I'm conceding can be translated into my opponent's conceding unless you, imitate them? Or that was my thought is like, I don't know, but your player ID should be like this big, long GUID thing. Like, I don't know, without seeing the code, I could speculate, but I just find it easier to believe that he's not forcing his opponent to concede. He's forcing a win state to be launched and then something happens to their opponent. Maybe they disconnect or I don't know. It was very instant though. So it's not the kind of alleged, maybe suspected and totally not proven, just my opinion, don't sue me, WOTC, quote-unquote hack that we've been seeing in Arena for the last couple of years, where they just disconnect you, you end up like it's the wrong turn and some weird crap happen even if you launch the game back and load it in 10 seconds, like my computer can, and you actually can't necessarily even resume the game 100% of the time. That was years ago that I saw that. So all of a sudden when the person's losing, oh look, desync to the server. And the worst one, whether this was a glitch or on purpose, was when it would look like your opponent's not taking an action, you'd still be connected, and then all of a sudden you just lose. But that took like 200-300 seconds, so he's not doing it that way, obviously. And I think that's already been patched. I've seen some suspicious stuff lately, but not that level. So what I think he did was some kind of unnatural match ending where like either it was a tie or a draw or an, what was that one I caused in that other video? God, I should show the footage again. This is gonna be a short video. I think it was called Unexpected Match Completion Error 42 or something like that. I think that's what his opponent saw, and then on his side, he just somehow triggered a win con. I don't really get it, but it was very instant. It just looked like his opponent conceded, but you can't tell if your opponent conceded or lost. So the fact that he said, and I quote, "Hey at MTG_arena" on Twitter, by the way, he directly tweeted this video at them. It got 185,000 views. Anyway, he says, "I figured out how to make an opponent auto-concede the game." I don't think that that's what's going on. I can't imagine he doesn't know enough about Magic to like not know, but I don't know, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But he didn't say force me to generate a win condition. He said specifically make the opponent auto-concede, which should by the code be impossible. I don't get it. So then he says, "Let me know how you'd like me to report the issue, and I'll send over the source plus an explanation of how it can be mitigated. Thank you." Probably another result of him, what do they call that? Decompiling the code because it's written in an antique language that is commonly used for games, but, you know, they're like, let's go Unity, let's do it this way, it'll be easier. It'll be a little more efficient, which, like, yeah, okay, I could see that. Well, now everybody and anyone has a hold of your source code, so you should probably find a way to obfuscate it. It would make it harder to patch, it would make it harder to do all kinds of stuff on Windows 10 and 11, but, do it. I don't care, do it. Then again, the source code's already out there then, so yeah. Hiding something after a crowd of people already showed up and took pictures is probably not the most effective thing. So any more speculation about how he specifically did this is very against YouTube 2S. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to tell you generally what happened, and in theory based on how he does things and how the disclosures work for WOTC, which does not have a bug bounty because I don't know. That would involve meritocracy and, you know, not socialist nonsense. They have some kind of document that says, you know, here's how you can disclose stuff to us in a responsible way, and then we totally won't sue you. We promise. We might send the Pinkertons after you. This guy's flirting with the pink boys, but honestly, if he's like me, he probably has one hell of a security system in his house. Just saying. And he's probably smarter than that other guy who clearly did not know the laws and just, yeah. So then April King, which, who is she? I'm not even going to get into it. All I'm going to say is she's from Minnesota. That's really all you need to know. She claims she's stumbled across security issues before, but as far as I know, they don't have a bug bounty program, and so I just let them be to avoid any kind of legal problems. Oh, sure you did. Yeah, master programmer and hacker there, April. Although apparently there is a responsible disclosure process now, and then she links to it. Oh, yeah, this game-destroying thing, and, you know, me and WOTC are best buds or whatever, but I'm not going to tell them about this critical vulnerability I found. My theory on that, I have a theory, is because it doesn't exist, and you're lying and making it all about you, which you're totally not famous for. That's totally not what people say about you. So don't be an April King. Don't do things that way. Don't just be like, oh boy, I sure hope somebody else solves this problem on this platform that I play on that totally, completely affects me. Allegedly. Be a Dan Meyer, the security researcher who probably put 2 seconds into figuring out how to do this. So, yeah, unbelievable security. If he can do that and disclose it because, you know, that's the right thing to do, how many people do you think out there are cheating to make money, sell, you know, bloated accounts? Come on, we all know this happens. And they blend in pretty good with the people just legitimately selling their accounts. Because with everybody quitting and the thousands of dollars put into it, oh, I've seen some stuff, and I can't even imagine what my account's worth. But I won't be doing that anytime soon, because, well, they have ways of catching you. So yeah, anyway, Dan, Mr. Security there, you probably got away with dodging a bullet there. You should have cut out the part where you Windows key tabbed. Because we could see the other windows you have open, but not at Twitter quality. Or I should say, you can't read the text in the other windows, but there's enough there that I'm like, oh, okay, I see what's going on. In general. Probably should have done that. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I'll be sure to cover the next hack, so subscribe if you don't want to miss it. And I'll see you guys next time.